Hey there folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the S.H.Figuarts Gokai Silver action figure set from Bandai. I'm not sure when this set was first released. I think it was released early on with Gokai Red in probably early 2012, I'm not sure. And I don't know what the original selling price for this set was. But I got this set in early 2013 through a Japanese pop culture web store called Mandarake, and paid 1,500 yen for this set, which translates to roughly around 20 bucks. Taking a look at Gokai Silver in the packaging here, you can see Gokai Silver, the 6th member of the Gokaija team. He's the only Earthling member of the team, Ikari Guy, the fanboy of Super Sentai, who joins the pirates, space pirates. And you can see he's decked out in his silver costume, which is pretty cool. And he comes with a whole bunch of accessories, which is pretty neat. Now, this particular Gokai Silver set it's not released with an early release Darin like the other retail Gokaija sets, unfortunately. So there is no Darin ever produced for this figure set. Here we have along the side Gokai Silver's name across here. Unfortunately, it's not in the foil packaging here and the lettering like the other retail sets. Here we along the side you can see Gokai Silver in a pose there, and the map-like background that's common with the Kaizo Sentai Gokaija sets. And here on the top you got the S.H.Figuarts logo with the Gokaija emblem there, pretty cool. Here we have the back of the packaging with Gokai Silver with various poses and the accessories included. A lot of the writing on the back here is in Japanese. Unfortunately, I can't read it, but there is some in English there, which is pretty standard for S.H.Figuarts on the packaging. Now we'll be right back and have Gokai Silver out of the packaging. Okay, we're back and we have Gokai Silver out of the packaging, and as you can see the figure comes with a few accessories, not as many as the other Gokaija sets, but still a decent amount. And before we take a look at the figure, we're going to go ahead and take a look at these accessories, and we'll start off with this here. Basically a pamphlet showing you how to use the accessories, and it's pretty standard with most figure art sets. And you can see here how many different hands are included, and all of the accessories. And this one doesn't really show you how to use them, but basically more like a parts list, I guess. And down here on the bottom half we have some writing in Japanese, and I don't know what it says. But pretty much standard pamphlet included with most figure art sets. Next thing we're going to take a look at are the extra pairs of hands. There are a total of 6 complete pairs of hands and 1 single hand. And the first pair of hands are a pair of closed fists that are included or are attached to the figure in the packaging. You can see the closed fists there, pretty neat. And the next set of hands that come included are a pair of emotive hands, where the first 2 fingers are splayed out or actually kind of curved, and the other fingers and thumb are posed differently as well. And this pair of hands is really more for Gokai Silver's Henshin pose, when he transforms from Ikari Guy into Gokai Silver, and he does his signature introduction of Gokai Silver. And you can see here these are used for that pose, which is pretty neat. And then we have here a pair of I guess just relaxed hands, not truly relaxed. The fingers are slightly curved on there, but see there some nice details. The fingers are all joined together on there. And then we have a pair of gripping hands that are mainly used for his trident-like weapon, which is pretty neat. It's pretty much standard pair of gripping hands there. And we have here a pair of gripping hands for his blaster. Basically, when his trident transforms into his blaster, he uses this pair of hands. And you can see that's really like a trigger finger type hand pose there. And then we have yet another pair of gripping hands, but these are more unique in that one hand is used for gripping the cellular, and the other is used to grip the Ranger key. They're unique sculpts, but I consider them a complete pair because there's a left and a right hand there. So pretty neat. And then you have a single hand here, an emotive hand, basically a pointing finger on there. Pretty cool. And next thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the I guess main weapon accessory of Gokai Silver, and that's the trident-like weapon here. And it's actually pretty neat. You can see it's got 3 prongs here that are actually kind of pointed and a bit sharp, so you got to be careful with that. And it's actually kind of neat. It's got some nice metallic blue paint on there, and a mixture of gold, and there's also black, I think this is just black plastic on there, and then you got a dab of silver, and it's actually nicely detailed. You can see all the sculpting detail on the trident, I guess prongs you could say, and it's pretty cool. And the one in silver here, I think that looks like the Gokaija emblem. It's kind of hard to make out, but I think you could see the pair of crossed swords and the Mobiritz on there. Although Gokai Silver doesn't use a Mobiritz, he uses his own version of that. And but still, it's got very nice detail, and it's painted very well. No bleed at all for such a small piece there. Very cool. And you can also see what I think looks like a part of his cellular. I don't know if his cellular transforms into this trident weapon. You can see the similarity there to his cellular, but I could be wrong, but it looks very similar to that on there. Pretty neat. And here you got the basically the handle, a long staff-like handle of the trident, and you can see one side is just plain black plastic, while the other has got some silver paint on there. Pretty cool. And forgot to show you the back of the trident there. Mostly black plastic here, but still pretty cool. And at the bottom of the trident-like weapon, pretty interesting. You can see that it looks like a gun barrel or a blaster barrel there. If you could see the details there with the sight on there and a bit of gold on there, and that's there because this trident-like weapon can transform into a blaster type weapon, which is a separate accessory. So when Gokai Silver uses his blaster, I guess it transforms from a trident to a blaster, and you can see the similarities between the two items. You can see that the trident prongs do fold up to form the grip of his blaster on there, which is pretty neat. And you have the middle prong here, and then you also have what I think is part of the cellular base of the prong there. So you can see how it's similar on there, and then you have the, I guess the staff like handle of the trident shrinks down, and then you can see the end of the trident there, which forms the tip of the barrel of his blaster, and you can see the blaster sight at the very top there. So it's pretty cool. And what's neat is you can see the two prongs on the grip here. They're not completely joined together, but it's still pretty neat. And it doesn't fold. It's just a sculpt. So you can't open that up to form the prongs of the trident. But still pretty neat detail on here for this particular piece. And of course this is the majority of this is in gold because of the trident is in gold. And then you have that blue metallic silver, or metallic blue, I'm sorry, on there, and of course the black plastic. But pretty cool secondary weapon accessory. Next thing we'll take a look at is his cellular. I can't call it a Mobiritz, maybe it's his own version of the Mobiritz, but this is his cellular, which he uses to call up his mecha or do his transformations. Primarily most of the 6th Rangers of the previous Super Sentai that Gokai Silver transforms into. But you can see here lots of detail, especially on the front part here. You got the little, I guess, panel here, and you have the buttons right there sculpted in. And you can see again the trident-like thing, or it could be an anchor. I'm not sure, but it looks similar to the trident or an anchor design at the top, which is pretty much a design for Gokai Silver, and I'll show that in a little bit. But pretty neat. And the other side is pretty much plain black paint, not just plastic, but looks like a black paint. And you can see some sculpting detail in there. Pretty neat. And the other accessory item, or actually the last accessory item included in this set, is of course the Ranger key for Gokai Silver. And you can see the key here is in gray. It's not silver, unfortunately. Would have been nice to be in silver, but it's just gray plastic and black plastic there. Or actually, maybe it's black paint. I can't tell, but it looks like gray and gray on here. And this is pretty much like the other keys that are included with the other Gokaija sets. At least one of these keys, at least the full figured key. Now this set does not come with a folded key, primarily because Gokai Silver doesn't fold keys and plug them into his Mobiritz like the other Gokaija members do. Instead, Gokai Silver inserts his keys into his version of the Mobiritz. He basically, this panel pretty much opens up where he can just slip it into the his cellular to do his transformations. So a little bit different, mainly because he's the 6th Ranger. Most 6 Rangers on most Super Sentai teams are a bit unique, and I guess this is unique for Gokai Silver. But pretty neat to have a Gokai Ranger key and his Gokai Cellular. Pretty neat items. Now let's go ahead and take a peek at Gokai Silver himself. And this is a pretty nice figure. I really dig this figure. It's actually, of course, unique because he's the 6th member of the Gokaija team. But it's very well done, especially in the paint. I really love the paint applied to this figure. And it's very well done. And let's go ahead and take a look, starting out with, of course, the head sculpt of Gokai Silver. And you can see it's a unique design compared to other Gokaija figure sets, in that, of course, being a 6th member of the team, and the last member, he and the only Earthling, it's pretty unique. And you can see the what looks like either the trident or anchor type design forming above his eyes there. It's pretty cool, and you could see the Gokaija symbol of the Mobirates, even though he has his own version of the Mobirates there. And you can see the prongs of either a trident or an anchor. I can never tell if it's one or the other, but it's painted nicely. And you can see here the goggle area painted in a very metallic gold, which is very nice on here. Unlike the other Gokaija figure sets where their visors or goggles were relatively flat black. This one here is a nice gloss metallic paint, gold paint on there, and it's very well done. I really love that paint on the goggle area or visor area. And turning the head around, you can see the head design here in black, which is another unique design compared to the Gokaija members, in that the Gokaija members have more of a tricorn hat design for a piratey type design, while Gokai Silver here, he has a design more of a bandana. It's still like a pirate theme. I guess you can call him the deckhand type pirate because he's got this bandana, and you got the tie of the bandana, but really a sculpt on there. But you can tell that's the tied portion of a bandana, which is very nice on there, and very cool. And I gotta learn to turn on silent on my phone. But taking a look at the rest of the figure here, you can see the more typical Gokaija design of the torso there. You got the flipped up collar, although it's a little different than the other Gokaija members. His is flipped up and down midway on here, and he does not have the Gokaija symbols at the tips of the collar there. It's just plain. But I gotta mention that the silver paint on this is done very well. This is a paint scheme or paint used that's not just metallic paint, but it's very glossy and reflective. And it's a really nice shade of silver, and I really dig it. Most silver paint I've seen are just reflective, but not truly metallic looking, while this one is, and it's very cool. And you can see little flecks of glitter, or I'm not sure what it is, but or silver in there, and it's very well applied on there, and I really love the paint on here. But looking at more of the design of the torso here, you can see the open part of his jerkin or jacket. You got some gold trim on the jacket as well, and the paint on here is very well applied, no bleed whatsoever, and a nice bright gold on there, very nice. And within the jacket you have the shirt here in black with a gold collar there, very nice, and the Gokaija symbol there. You can see the Mobirates and the crossed swords, very cool. And you can see the gold trim along the shoulders there. And you can see that Gokai Silver wears the typical belt for most Gokaija members, where the keys are produced, and this is in a dull gold flat plastic, unpainted plastic there. Would have been nice to have that painted, but it's not. And you can see a piece of plastic film here, which is common for all of the Gokaija sets that go underneath this belt here. And you basically pop off the torso to remove that film. Let's see if I can do that there. You can see, actually this looks like two pieces of plastic film there. One for the upper torso and one for the lower torso. And you can see the belt is just a loose piece here. You just stick that back on there, and you can see actually the ball joint on the waist there. and basically you just pop that torso back in. There you go, to remove the film. And the belt is a little bit loose. Actually, it's a little tighter than the other Gokai sets, and so that's actually kind of nice, because the other sets are relatively loose. Well, this one is a bit tighter. It's still loose, but not as loose as the other sets on there. And you can see the sculpt design of that belt, by the way, of the of a figure there, of a Ranger key sculpted on there. And you can see here the underhang of his jacket below the belt, and as you saw earlier, it's a separate piece of plastic there. And here you got the typical leggings of the Gokaija members, very form-fitting leggings. And here we have the boots, and I forgot to mention that the design of the cuff of the boots, and as well as the cuff of the arms here, are actually different from the other Gokaija members. From what I remember, they're a little bit more pointed, while these are more rounded. And again, that's because he's the 6th Ranger, and most 6 Rangers from Super Sentai are a little bit more unique. And looking at the rest of the boots, you can see nicely painted silver, just like the torso there. Very, very reflective. And you can see the sculpt design of the boot here even more, because this is a typical, I guess, Super Sentai bootleg, you could say, right here, at least where the sculpt is concerned. And it's more pronounced with this silver paint. Very, very cool. And I forgot to mention the sculpt design on the torso is pretty nice as well. You can see the folds in the jacket there, or jerkin. Very, very cool, to indicate that it's more of a cloth-like design, or spandex type of design. You can see on the back here, little sculpting folds on there. Very, very cool. I really like it on here. Now, going over articulation for Gokai Silver, the head is on a ball joint that is at the top of the neck, so the head can go all the way around the neck, as well as down, and let me move the neck back here, down and slightly upwards, and even side to side slightly, not too much. Although the neck here is on a separate joint from the torso, so there is a 2 joints for the neck, at the top for the head, and at the bottom for the torso. And the neck itself can go, if you can get a good grip on it, can go all the way around, and can go even side to side, even more than the head does, and can go forward and back. So with the combination of the neck and head, you can get quite a few different poses for the head, which is very, very nice. The arms at the shoulder are on a bald hinged joint that allows the arm to go all the way around, as well as out and in. And there is also a separate joint in the shoulder here, underneath, within the torso, that allows the arm to move forward and back, up and down, or all the way around. It's basically a circular joint right there, so you can move their arm in a circular motion at the shoulder, which is nice. There is a swivel cut at the bicep area, allows the arm to go all the way around that way. And there are double joints at the elbows, so you can bend the arms that far in and this far straight. And the hands are joined at the wrist on a bald hinged joint, allows the hand to go all the way around. And where the hinge is, you can also bend the hand in and out. And if you rotate the hand over the hinge, you can get it side to side. You have to work on it a little bit to get the side to side hand movement. But you just have to position the hand at a certain position on the hinge on that. The torso area, allows you to twist the torso side to side or around, but not all the way around, and also allows you to bend the torso forward this much and that much back. And the lower, or I should say mid torso area, is a separate joint and allows you to rotate the mid torso area all the way around, as well as bend forward and bend backwards. So the combination of the upper and mid torso allows a nice range of posability there, and I believe side to side, and that's mainly due to the ball joint at the waist. And so you have that, I guess, what's considered waist movement there. Now, the legs are joined at the hip on a combination of joints, which is typical with most Figuarts figure sets, in that you can bend the leg forward that much, bend it down and back slightly, as well as out to the side. And there's an additional hinge joint where you can pull the leg down to allow even more upward movement, more extreme posability in the upward and in the outward movement. So that's very, very cool, and you can pull it up and down depending on the pose there. And there is a swivel at the top of the thigh area, so you can rotate the leg around, which is very cool. And the knees are double jointed, so you can bend the knees that far back and this far forward. And the feet are joined at the leg with a ball socketed joint, so you can basically move the foot that far forward, not too much, and this far down, as well as side to, or I mean all the way around, and side to side. Nice side to side movement on the foot there. And there is a toe hinge on this figure, so nice array of articulation, typical for most Figuarts, but this figure is nicely sculpted for a 6th Ranger of the Super Sentai team of Gokaija, and very well done on the sculpt and the paint. I really love the paint on this. It's very, very nice, and very, very cool. This is my casual peek into the S.H.Figuarts Gokai Silver action figure set from Bandai. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.